Well, universities in Australia are largely vertical. They're not spread out like how we think back in India. I'm here at the Education Centre of Australia, and it's a boardroom conversation which has just happened ad hoc. So first up, Gavin, Rupesh, Adam and Lauren, thank you very, very much for your time and for making this possible. The possibilities, perhaps the biggest exchange between India and Australia is in the field of education. So Rupesh, let me start with you and ask you, what are the possibilities? You've been in the education business, you've been in Australia for a long, long time. You're a permanent resident, if I remember correctly, yes. But you still hold the Indian citizenship. So what's possible in the education sphere between India and Australia?
So Anand, I've been in the industry for 20 odd years. I came as an international student myself, so I've gone through the experience. And after that, we have set up education institutes here. What has changed recently, especially with the new education policy, that now Australian universities or any other top 100 ranked universities are actually allowed to operate in India. So there is a lot of trade happening, especially in the gift city in Gujarat, where a couple of universities have signed up. We are actively involved in setting up some Australian university campuses there as well. So endless possibilities right now.
Right, but do you feel this gap of understanding of Australia or university, Gavin, where in India everybody thinks how much of land is the university is on, how spread out is it? Whereas here you're looking at how do I tailor my curriculum? How many students do I give them education? Do you see this gap there?
Yeah, it is a little bit different, but when the students arrive, they realise that the most important things is location. So they want to be in the city centre, they want to be where the work opportunities are, they want to be near transport links. So it's really important that we are able to offer them campus experiences that are close to where they live, where they work, and where they're going to have their social life as well when they're in Australia.
One of the first things is when I apply to a university is, are they going to give me a visa to continue to stay on after my graduation? What are the kind of jobs that I'm getting? What's going to be my starting salary? I'm going to sink in thousands, if not lakhs of dollars. So what are the chances?
Yeah, so it's, that is a huge challenge for students. I mean, obviously, employability is a very important aspect, and I think at ECA we take it very seriously across the ECA group. So what we've seen really from data that we have in 2022 is that 6 out of 10 students have not found employment 4 months after graduation. And I think that is a very important aspect which all universities are looking to kind of work towards in Australia. So what we've done is, by bringing out Employability Advantage, we've put in place a digital tool that sort of helps students upskill and get them ready for the workforce. So really we're trying to build more employability or job-ready skills from students. And I think that is a big step that ECA has taken towards that.
Being job-ready is one aspect, but to have jobs in a market is another. Right. Now, I may have great education in Australia, but if I have to look beyond Australia to get a job after I study in Australia, does that not become a deterrent?
Well, in a way, yes. There are challenges for students when they actually have to get out there and get, jobs in place. But at this point in time, unemployment is very low at, close to 3.7%. So there are opportunities there. But I think what employers are looking for is that specific set of skills that students can come in and hit the ground running. And I think that is what we're trying to work towards, sort of build those skills which students can get and actually hit the ground running.
Well, that's where I've saved the best for last, because that young man there, he's developed a tool. It's called open learning. Adam, tell us about open learning and how does this entire aspect of upskilling or finding the gaps to increase your employability happen? I believe you're basing it on artificial intelligence, correct me if I'm wrong, and which also allows you to design curriculums or figure out gaps. So tell us how this works.
That's exactly right. So Open Learning is one of the world's largest online learning platforms with over 3.5 million students. And I founded the company actually out of university with some fellow students at the University of New South Wales. And we've built this platform to make it possible to increase access to higher quality education, because there's a lot of content out there in the world, and you can find things on YouTube, Wikipedia, but if you actually want to learn something, you have to work with other people, solve problems, do project-based learning activities, and all of that should lead towards a portfolio, and the portfolio is what you take to an employer to show you've learned something. So Open Learning has done this over the past 10 years, working with hundreds of universities and colleges around the world, enabling them to build really high quality courses, and now doing that using generative AI to really lift the standard of education.
Then why do I need universities? I might just engage with your platform and upskill and learn everything that I want to do on your platform.
Yes,
Are you making universities redundant?
well, it's very interesting because almost all the courses on our platform are from universities. So the university plays a critical role in education and in society because they're there to actually curate and design these learning experiences and to certify the students.
Yeah, but doesn't AI come with its own rider and its own challenges? Because where is the AI pulling the information source from? What kind of textbooks or what kind of curriculum is it actually dipping into to give you an advice? Isn't that a problem, or is that an opportunity?
I believe it's an opportunity because the way we're using AI is a little bit different to how people are using it around the world now. We're actually using it to enable educators to build better courses and better learning experiences for their students. And it's not automated. The human is always in the loop. So the educator knows best what they want to teach, what the demands are in the workforce, and sometimes the best skills we need to learn are ones that have been around for hundreds of years. So you need someone such as an educator, a lecturer, a professor to design that experience, and the AI is there to help them do it.
But does your platform also educate the educators? Because the educators also need to upskill. The educators also need to learn.
Exactly
Teachers
right.
also need to be trained.
So Anand, sorry to interrupt, but Adam platform is also a national platform in Malaysia. So all the public universities are on the platform, and they have trained actually 10,000 professors in Malaysia. And now we are launching this in India, where the agenda is basically the high quality curriculum, right? Because not everyone comes from the higher middle class family.
Correct.
So I had this vision that how do I train and educate, lower middle class people. So with open learning platform, we have got the curriculum. Now we are launching it, and then we can train thousands of professors.
So you're going to train teachers and professors.
100%.
Yeah.
And he has actually built modules just to train those educators. So this platform now enable us to fast track all the things we always wanted to do for India.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you this,
Yeah.
Rupesh, that on the one hand you want more Indian students to come to Australian universities, but that's dollars. So are you bringing Australian universities to India where people who can't afford to pay this money, but there are very sharp minds at that level of, or that class of society, like you said. Are you trying to do something?
Yes, the number of different kind of models are in place. So pathway models, for example, where the students can start in India and finish here in Australia or any other country, which actually save money. They save thousands of dollars, but they also are very successful when they adopt to this model because they have learned Australian curriculum, referencing, and a lot of other challenges which normally they come here and then they face, right? So that's one. There is a tuning arrangement which is possible now. So we helping a lot of our university partner, and we're doing ourselves pathways, tuning arrangement, and we through open learning, our students can actually study a year and go to hundreds of universities all around the world for a fraction of a cost, which
You ply your wares in Australia, but I'm told you're from UP.
Yes,
you're
sir.
from the Prime Minister's constituency of
That's right.
Kashi or Banaras.
That's right.
So are you doing something there in Uttar Pradesh, in Kashi?
Yeah, absolutely. So I met Education Minister during his trip, and there is a proposal to set up some overseas universities in UP.
In UP?
That's right.
And you're planning something in Kashi. So Prime Minister is coming. Are you looking forward to meeting him? You've met him in the past.
I have met him 3 times now. So but the last meeting was at his residence in 2019. I'm looking forward to meet him again tomorrow. And we will do everything to make sure that his vision, whatever we can contribute in a smaller way, we will try our best.
Let me ask you, what's the one thing you would like India to do to make the business of education more affordable for the average Indian student and more engaging for students who are coming to Australia? So, both ways. What's the one thing that needs to be done?
Yeah,
I'll ask you and then I'll ask Karen.
Yeah, so I think the current, red tape has eased. So we are finding much easier to do business in India. So that's number one. Number two, if you look at Australian universities, unlike a lot of other universities all around the world, all Australian universities are top 1,000 in the world, so top 3%. Unlike, say, if you go to US, there'll be like rank 1, and then there'll be another which is 20,000. So why the Australian universities are able to achieve it? Because of their regulation and the framework. Australian qualification framework is one of the best in the world, I believe. What we are doing actually, and that can help India, because our challenge in India is 20 million people turning 18 every year.
Correct.
Right? Not everyone can afford to pay thousands of dollars to come to Australia, right, or America. So I think the first thing I've worked in Australia and India for many years. The biggest difference I see is the quality of the curriculum, whereas Australian universities will invest millions of dollars, right? So I think we need to take that curriculum and scale it. We have to take it to every individual, and that's why open learning is so good, because we are able to do it. In digital space, what we have seen is platforms like Canvas or Blackboard. It's not in so much use in India. They're still using platforms like Moodle, which is very high maintenance. You need to have a storage and also have a lot of IT staff.
So there is evolution that's required, but you're saying that there is a curriculum that Australian universities adopt, which is one of the best world standards.
That's right.
So you can bring those standards to India.
Correct.
How easy or difficult is that? Is there an openness among Indian educators to partner to do something like that?
I think, excuse me, I think people are always looking at what Australia is doing because we have a very sophisticated education system. We have some of the highest ranked universities in the world. We put a lot of emphasis on the outcome or the return on investment that students get. And I think that's something that's, we've always got to keep front and centre when we're thinking about, which courses to add to scope, the experience we give our students. What is the return on investment they're looking for vis-a-vis a job outcome, a good student experience while they're there? Mostly it's around making sure that we are genuinely taking them and realising their potential in the workplace. And that's what we've got to do every single day.
Open learning coming to India very soon?
Yes.
And you're looking at the prospect, because it's going to be a flood of people who are coming in, and your AI is going to be flooded with a lot more insights. So are you ready to take on that load?
We definitely are. So Open Learning over the years has supported over 3.5 million students. And when we launched in Malaysia, and we supported all of the Malaysian public universities and polytechnics, that's the entire higher education system of the country.
3.5 million, there's 18 million coming in every year. That's the number. So you see the scale. Right?
We are ready, and we're very excited. We'll be working very closely with ECA and also ensuring that we support all of the Australian and local Indian universities.
Local Indian universities, great.
Anand, there is a very cost-effective, the employability, which is tool, which Lauren D'Souza, he found his passion during pandemic, and he has developed that, and that is going on open learning as well, where students actually are assessed in their technical skills, then they get tech ready, they get a smart skills ready. There is an AI tool which actually helps them in writing resume. There is an internship component where they will be working with an Australian employer and they will do live project. And then there is a mock interview at the end. So it's end to end. And the cost of that, because again, remember we are trying to help the lower middle class people. And it has actually 17,000 courses at the back end. So they can cater for any kind of occupation.
Yeah, fantastic.
And the cost is highly affordable.
Right. I'll tell you what, the cause is always India. When you have Indians there, is also proven by the fact what's there in the backdrop. I'm going to end on that note. See, there is Sachin Tendulkar and the fandom of Sachin Tendulkar at the backdrop, and there is a bat that's autographed by Sachin Tendulkar inside the Rupesh is there.
Actually, so, this is his personal bat.
That's his personal bat.
Personal bat. I bought it in the World Cup when he was here.
Oh, lovely.
And that actually photo, that's MCC photo of the year.
Yeah.
And this was his last game.
Last test match, yeah.
So this one actually, at Lord's MCC photo of the year, it's only one.
Correct.
Here.
And on that note, gentlemen, thank you very much.
Lovely
speaking with you, and I look forward to these possibilities in India very soon.